I'm serious, because I may have to do that, you know, because it's not, I mean, I know it reflects totally on me, but it's,
I don't
you
know,
know.
everybody understands
Yeah,
what's
that's
going
true.
on there.
Well, almost everyone understands. And the crazy part was that
You had that pile of
she,
Oh, I passed, I was happy to pass it along.
oh, I have that thing for you. I'm sorry, I'm just pulling out the referral because I realized I buried it in everybody's folder and I want everybody to know that they have it.
You have that information we talked about?
Yes, I have actually one better than what we talked about. I don't know if he's gonna be here, but I do have it. So, let me just put these aside, and then this is Joan. Joanne's out here.
Okay, we all set? Let's open up our meeting with pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Joanne's not going to be here tonight because she has to babysit for her grandchildren in Boston. And Alan Shiner, I don't believe, is going to be here, as his son-in-law, Eric Vanderkar, was one of the ones killed in the train wreck at Valhalla. So let's take a moment of silence just for supporting Alan and his family. Okay, our condolences go out to that family. Maybe we should send them a card.
Yeah, I'll take care of that.
Okay, would you take the roll call, please?
Tom Brewer,
Yes.
Kathy Jordan. Yes. Art Christie,
Yes.
John Horn,
Here.
Joanne Kell, Alan Shiner, Clifford Buffa.
Here.
Okay, we have minutes in January. The minutes are pretty detailed. I've asked Tracy to try to hit it, make sure she hits on main points, and that anything else in between we can watch the video, at least until she is able to catch up on the minutes. I haven't seen anything changes in this, but does anyone else see any changes on there to see in the minutes? Can I have a motion to accept the minutes?
Got me to speak up.
I'm sorry.
Second.
I'll second it.
Okay, we've had some correspondence that we're waiting on Mr. Olson to discuss with us
What are we supposed to vote on?
here today.
There was a motion and seconded, but we never
Well, I think that's kind of like an all-in-favor type.
All in favor? Okay, the minutes
Yeah.
being approved.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
I don't see didn't we refer this to the DOT? Or were we waiting for-
It says in there that it's pending receipt
says
of
it on
DOT
there.
approval.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't get
No,
to
we didn't refer, because the DOT, they had already been doing that, so we've been waiting for the DOT approval, so I did add in there that it would be a preliminary approval pending receipt of the required DOT documentation.
Okay, I didn't get to it yet. It's just-
Yeah, it's,
Did we receive that?
not
from
yet,
the DOT?
not yet,
Which is this?
for the farm stand,
Okay.
yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
I spoke to Cam yesterday, and they haven't received anything yet
I
either,
talked to
but.
Corrigan today from the DOT, and there was just a couple more things he wanted me to put on there, a note, so. Where we down now? Okay, we don't have to-
Yeah, I had a conversation with Don about this today, because I try to be very specific and basically transcribe those videos, but, it's timely, so we decided that as long as I touch on, the important points, the detail isn't extremely necessary, because we do have the videos to go back to if we need to. But I would try to be
So
detailed
on
with
the
it.
farm stand, it's just on hold until we get that.
Right, you guys made a motion for preliminary approval at the last month's meeting and pending receipt of the DOT documentation. It is actually in the motion stated that way. Or prior to the motion. Yeah, it's the last sentence of that paragraph. It says Don Berger suggested a preliminary approval pending receipt of the DOT approval required prior to approval.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
I have a question. Is there a computer program that will listen to the tape and transcribe it?
But not one that I would trust.
Well,
I mean, they have certain apps that are like that, but, I mean, if that were the case, we wouldn't have stenographers, right? So, it would be, I don't know. I wouldn't even try to do something like that, because coordinating it, and, I'm sure it's not flawless, and then that comes back on me and creates rework, so I'd rather do it once, get it done, and over with.
Might make for a very funny reading.
I'm sure, yeah, because I've used those apps and
Yeah.
stuff before, and it says some interesting things that it thinks it hears.
Never right, always funny.
Yeah, this is true. I actually have a snapshot of something that it said that I didn't say, if you want to see that something.
The correspondence that we did receive was from Bond, Shandaken, King, in reference to the application of Crossroads Ventures, and also Catherine Flower in reference to Crossroads Ventures. Referred to Mr. Olson, our attorney, for his advice on them. And also Pete Romano from Chayton for his remarks on it. We also have the letters from correspondence from the county planning board, which we'll go over at that point on our agenda when we get to that.
I need to get the Leone and Wilson files. I forgot to bring them down.
The applications.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm just gonna grab those.
So the next for old business is we have Leone, Wilson, and Crossroads. Leone is the property that was a subdivision of 3 acres to go with the cabin on the one side of the road. It's not the most recent one, is it? Yeah, okay, that's the most recent one. And the main thing that you requested was the acreage of the road out of there.
Which one are we discussing?
Leone, so not to include the acreage of the road. And that calculation is underneath the zoning chart. Go on there. Remember here, that was all one piece. And he wanted to have 3 acres for where his the existing house and garage is, and he wanted to keep it down below the hill that's across the street. Right now, that whole lot is on both sides of the road, and we want to cut it so that there's 3 acres. That's 3.225 acres if you include the road section in there.
Now, that's the first time this has come up. But I know my deed says to the middle of the road, so I don't really own as much. But I thought that was fairly common. I never heard anybody want to subtract.
Well,
The part-
some properties own right across the road.
Yeah, well, he's different right across the road.
Right.
But how many people own half the road?
There's
Depends on the
quite in Shandaken, quite a few people that
Yeah.
deeds go to the center line of the road.
Yeah.
But you have to give the rights of the public to the bounds of
Yeah,
the road.
but it never came up that shouldn't be counted in your acreage. I don't know. Maybe we just never thought about
We
it.
took it out here, so.
So taking it out, reduce it to 3 acres even.
Yeah, it's, the road acreage is 0.225 acres, so take that out. That leaves us with 3 acres.
Okay.
It's 3 acre zoning there.
Well, he has at least the option of moving a line, but I mean,
Yeah.
most people can't.
Yeah, we were still able to keep below the hill, so he was fine with that. I mean, he wasn't too thrilled about losing 0.225 acres, but he agreed that he goes along with this. That was the only question we had.
Yeah, that was it.
So, if I find where the schedule is for public hearing for next month, that would be. Gabby.
In terms of the public hearing?
And, yeah, and this, getting the motion.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, so Leone is the subdivision, and is Wilson a subdivision too, or a lot line adjustment?
It's a subdivision.
For both subdivisions? Okay.
Anybody want to hang on to their maps? You want to keep the maps in the building department? or-
Yeah.
No votes needed on that. Is there a vote needed on that?
Yeah. Yeah, because you have to make a motion to accept the application and set it to public hearing.
Or make that motion.
You do. Okay.
Anybody want to second that?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to Mr. Wilson, Colin Dean Wilson. This is on Lost Cove Road. Two brothers own the whole lot that is there. The new lot line is labeled in the middle there, labeled new lot line. It actually follows some old original lines. So we're dividing it into two equal lots for the two brothers so that they can add their own tax bills and that whole thing. This is different than what we dealt with before with Kurt Wilson. That's a third brother. So that's had nothing to do with what we're doing up there. I show the building setback lines, and the zoning district line cuts through there.
They're equally dividing one parcel.
Yes,
What's the acreage on each side?
29.4.
29.4 per lot?
Yes.
How'd you manage to split it into two? Down,
I was thinking that too.
down to
Mathematics.
the, down to the thousandths of an acre.
There's some old original lot lines there, the set track. I just put that there for interest's sake. Those lot numbers you see that are in circles, those are the old lot numbers.
So would it originally have been 58.8?
Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Oh,
He's got it down to 02. That's it, 04.
So this is a pretty,
It's straightforward. We had no issues last
No.
week.
So I would ask the planning board to set a public hearing for Wilson's also.
We have a motion.
Motion to accept the application as submitted and to set the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to accept this.
Second.
That was Cliff and then Tom.
Yes. Need to vote.
Motion, or do we need a second motion to?
No, I did it as one, to accept the application as submitted and set the public hearing. I think I ran out of these little cheat sheets.
The farm stand that we discussed, we're waiting for the DOT to give their sign off on that. And then we'll present it again to the planning board and ask for a public hearing at that time.
You done? Do we have to vote to approve
Yeah,
the
we do.
subdivision?
We have, we have,
We have to vote on that subdivision.
okay, we've had, there's a motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Continuing our review of Crossroads.
I have a question real quick. I had put under the communication, because I wasn't sure where you wanted me to stick that, but just so I would remember. On comments and the comment time frame, I did receive a comment after the specified time. What should I do with it?
That's one of the ones we're waiting to hear from Mr. Olson on.
Okay. I did save it, but I didn't include it as part of the file yet, because I didn't know if we could still accept it after that deadline.
Okay, some of the things we talked about during the workshop meeting. Anybody have any questions or discussions on Crossroads?
Well, we didn't get this at the workshop, did we?
No.
I know you read off some of the,
Yeah, so let's go through the,
I didn't have that last week, so you wouldn't have gotten it. I just got it.
oh, I thought I read it,
Still
but
not
I
in.
didn't get a copy.
I know, I didn't have that last week.
so let's go through the county referral response. So has everybody had time to read through it? Not completely. We'll touch on the key points.
I just got it a few moments ago.
Let's touch on the, each subtitle and their required modifications. Which I'm not sure about the wording required modifications, 'cause
Isn't it more of a suggested
yeah.
modification?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask about that. Well, the three approved tonight and with modified recommendations, so needs to look into it. Let's see. Concerning County Route 49A, the applicant should be required to coordinate with the town, county, DPW, or the New York State DOT on these improvements and develop a schedule of when they will be completed as well as funding. Shandaken Planning Board should note these needs as part of the approval of the site plan. comments concerning that? Gunnison Road. To ensure Gunnison Road can handle the level of traffic adequately both during and after completion of the project would be helpful. The Shandaken Planning Board should work with the highway superintendent on the need for any improvements associated with Gunnison Road. We should require that Gunnison Road be repaired after all other phases of this project are completed and remain passable during construction. These are just key highlights I'm taking out. If anybody has anything more to say
No, I
about
think that's a good way to go about it.
Pedestrian access. Crosswalk to that area from the project are to be adjusted. As the details of the BMSC improvements become known, the crosswalk to that area from the project are to be adjusted to ensure that there is a safe landing on that side of the road. Questions or discussion on that?
No, I think we talked about this some already.
Transit. Coordination with UCAT should be required by the Shandaken Planning Board, the county busing system. A letter from UCAT that indicates that site design will accommodate public transit and that UCAT will serve the project. Any questions, discussion on that topic?
Well, who's supposed to tell who? We're supposed to tell UCAT that they should.
We're just supposed to,
No, they're asking that the applicant coordinate it with UCAT.
yeah, a letter from the applicant to UCAT. Has probably already done that, haven't you? No?
I'm assuming that you can handle buses driving through the parking lot, though.
It's understandable that the county planning board is concerned about the county busing project there. Internal roadway system, traffic control signage, details are lacking. At the Wild Acres Resort entrance, it's important to ensure that free and safe flow of traffic, so more details on the signage. Traffic control and wayfinding signage. An alternative boulevard design for the Front 9 Village access road should be considered. I think they're talking about the